What's up, guys, and what an incredible event from Apple today. I was just blown away by mostly the iWatch. We did see the iPhone 6 and 6L coming, but in this video I just wanted to go over and talk about what happened. So let me just say this is probably the best keynote I've ever seen from Apple, and starting off they just jumped straight to the point. Basically, they covered a little bit of what is going on with Apple, that it's a booming company, but they jumped right into it. The iPhone 6 and the larger iPhone 6 Plus. These are two new iPhones, and we knew long before Apple announced them that these were coming. So there is the iPhone 6. It's everything we expected it to be, and there's actually a couple surprising points that I didn't expect coming from Apple. So first off, it's a rounded iPhone. The edges are very curved. The screen curves into the edge, and it looks beautiful. Now, of course, it is larger. We did see that coming. It's at 4.7 inches versus the current 4.0 of the iPhone 5S. And Apple didn't really offer an explanation as to why, but of course we all know with a huge demand with Android phones with a larger display, we can see that Apple would want to catch up and dominate more market share, bring over Android users to Apple. So that's self-explanatory. Now it does come in two sizes. So one is 4.7 inches and two 5.5, and that one is called the iPhone 6 Plus. So there's going to be two users. One, that just wants a larger iPhone, or if you don't even want it, you can stick with your 5S. But there is also the iPhone 6 Plus for those people that are just addicted to gargantuan iPhones or just want a larger experience. And it'll actually act a little bit like an iPad. There will be screens that you'll be able to fold over and get a more extensive view. So not only does the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus have a larger display, it's also dramatically thinner. So it's at 6.9 millimeters for the iPhone 6 versus 7.6 for the iPhone 5S, and it's 7.1 millimeters for the iPhone 6 Plus. That's very thin for a phone, that's getting bigger while still beating the battery life of the iPhone 5S. And not to mention the battery life is much better. So not to mention the battery life is better, not by much. They did beat the iPhone 5S, and as you can see on the chart, it does look better on the iPhone 6 Plus because of course it does have much more room for battery. Now, to compensate for this screen size and retain the clarity of previous Retina displays, of course Apple did have to bump up the resolution. So on the iPhone 6, we're going to be seeing a resolution of 1334 by 750 pixels with 326 ppi. That's more than a 720p Retina HD display. Now on the iPhone 6 Plus, that's even higher at 1920 by 1080 with 401 pixels per inch. That's a full 1080p HD resolution display on an iPhone 6. Now with the larger displays, of course, you can see more content. For example, look at these iPhones. This is 6 and the 6 Plus on the right. As you can see, it's a longer list, and on the 6 Plus, you can actually see icons. There's room for that now. Flip it over on its side, and it's a different iPhone completely. You can see, more information, and that's exclusive to the 6 Plus, so it's very iPad-esque. Of course, the new iPhones, they look gorgeous. In my opinion, it's the best looking iPhone to date. However, that's not all that's changed. Most of the change is inside the phone. Now, besides the screen, Apple has done a lot of work with the speed. Now, it's 25% faster than the iPhone 5S in terms of processing power, and the graphics capability is 84 times faster than the original iPhone with processing power 50 times faster. If you just really think about it, that's insane how far we've come since the original iPhone. That blows my mind, guys. Now, we don't have any official, numbers for the processor, but the A8 chip in the new iPhone is supposedly going to be incredible, one of the fastest on the market. And with the Metal software, a whole bunch of developers are going to create a lot of games for the iPhone, which are already in works. So we're going to be seeing a lot of impressive software on these new iPhones. With the new iPhone and the health application, we're going to be leaning heavily on health and fitness in iOS 8, and especially paired with the new iWatch, which I'll get to in a second. The new iPhone 6 now supports voice over LTE, so if you have Verizon, you can finally use the internet while talking, and it's not going to detract from the quality at all. Now the iPhone 6 supports 20 LTE bands. That's more than any phone on the market. And Wi-Fi speeds are much faster now thanks to 802.11 AC Wi-Fi, 3 times faster than the 5S. And now the iPhone camera, the best feature in my opinion. Now, while remaining at 8 megapixels, don't let that fool you. Apple has completely redone the camera. It's incredible, and with every release, it keeps getting better and better. So now we're going to be seeing several new features in the camera application. There's an all-new sensor, and a new feature called focus pixels. If you're into photography at all and you have a DSLR, some of the top end DSLRs have this feature where the sensor actually has pixels that'll judge, distance between subject, so it can focus much faster. That means the autofocus is twice as fast as the iPhone 5S and has a better clarity. The new A8 chip in the iPhone includes a powerful Apple designed image signal processor, which means you'll get sharper, clearer images, all from the software side. So aside from physical changes, there will be a lot of software additions as well. And if you have an iPhone 6, it will have digital image stabilization. If you have an iPhone 6 Plus, it'll include optical image stabilization, which is, leaps and bounds better than the digital counterpart. Both will be great. The iPhone 6 Plus will have a slightly better camera. And this is the feature I'm anticipating most. There's going to be 240 frames per second slow motion video recording on the new iPhone 6. And I'm just insanely excited for that because the 120 frames per second currently available on the 5S is amazing. I can only imagine how much better it'll get with the iPhone 6. Now, of course, it'll ship with iOS 8, and the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, they get a little bit different versions than you would see on the iPhone 5S, of course, to compensate for their size. It will come with new cases both in silicone and leather, so you will have a choice of those just like the 5S did. Pricing starts at $199 on contract for a 16 gig. It jumps straight to 64 for $299, and there is a 128 gigabyte version at $400. It's insane. 128 gigs on your smartphone of solid state drive storage, which is kind of pointless nowadays because you have iCloud, but it's a welcome feature. The iPhone 6 Plus is just $100 cheaper, so it'll start at $299, go up to $399 for the 64 gig, and $49 for the 128 gigabyte version. So it's just a little bit different price variation, but it will be available on September 19th in the following countries. And Apple did quote that this will be the fastest rollout ever for the iPhone, and I'm sure it will be well stocked. Of course, if you do want to snag one online, you need to stay up because on Friday, 12 a.m., which pretty much means the end of Thursday, you're going to have to be online waiting to go ahead and file your order. Now, Apple did introduce a new payment system called Apple Pay. While it's not a new idea, Apple took it and perfected it, something they do very well. So pretty much, if you have an iPhone, it'll now have NFC capability. You can just touch it to a compatible, retailer's little payment section, touch it to it, boom, you've paid, and it stores all your credit card information. The store never sees your name, never sees your credit card information, any of that. So I think it's a great idea. Apple just took something that was out there, but made it better. And now the Apple Watch. I was watching the keynote, I was just melting. I could not believe what Apple has done. It's crazy. Apple took something that was out there in the world and they made it so much better. They just added so much love and innovation to it. And let me just go ahead and explain it. So the Apple Watch is not only, a functional watch for technology, it's also a fashion statement. It'll be coming in many different options, colors. There's 3 sections, which I'll get to in a second. But it's just incredible, the features and the amount of time they put into this project. This took up most of the keynote on this one section. So let me just go ahead and run through what's new with the new Apple Watch. So the first thing Apple decided to share with the world about the iWatch is the digital crown. It's this little round knob on the side, a regular crown, except it's what you're going to be using to interact with a phone besides the touch screen. It'll make it easier to zoom in and zoom out of stuff, go back to the home menu without covering the screen and ruining your experience. So aside from how it looks, the new Apple Watch brings forth groundbreaking technology. It actually features a new screen, a sapphire display that actually senses force. It's crazy. The harder you press on the display, the watch will be able to tell and it'll activate different functions. Apple has quoted that this is their most personal product they've ever made. It's actually going to bring people closer together due to this feature where you can just, draw or tap the screen. It'll tap someone wearing that phone using this new haptic feedback feature they implemented inside of it. So it's not just vibrate, it'll actually feel like someone is tapping you on the arm when someone does tap it and it sends over to you. This thing has custom applications built for it. So maps, one of the best examples I saw was you're going to be using maps on this little thing. And I know it seems hard, but once you actually see it in action, it's so simple. And as you're walking, it'll actually vibrate once or twice for left or twice or 3 times for right. So it'll have different functions, but without even actually looking down at the watch, it'll be able to tell you where to go if you're navigating on foot through a city. It's extremely customizable and it'll come in 3 editions: the Apple Watch, the Apple Sport, and the Watch Edition. So the Watch Edition is 18 karat gold, the Apple Sport is anodized aluminum, and just the watch is stainless steel. And all of these are sweat proof. They're made to take a workout. They're pretty much focused on health entirely. They're gonna be able to track your daily activities. They'll be able to encourage you, to stand up more often because that's healthy. Apparently they said a lot of things. So it'll be very health oriented while actually managing your applications on your phone, from a little display, which will make it much more convenient. Now the Apple iWatch will drop sometime early 2015. Don't know exactly when. It'll cost $349, and I can't even begin to describe how bad I want this thing. Apple really outdid themselves, and this is one of the most innovative products I've ever seen with everything they mentioned in it. So I can't wait to use that, in my day-to-day life. So this has been the best keynote I've ever seen from Apple. They actually brought out U2 and played them at the end. And guys, I cannot wait for the iPhone 6, for the new iWatch. I'll be standing in line in Portland, Oregon. So, I'll be making videos. You guys can come out there, whatever. But guys, this is crazy. I cannot wait for it. Have a great day, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks, Apple, for everything you do. I absolutely love your new products. Peace.